Maajid Nawaz with us from London with Quilliam Group. Maajid, it's great to have you back again.
Thank you.
Maajid, I want to get right to your op-ed of last week. I really told my entire staff it was must read with your perspective, spending time in jail. We're going to bring it up here, folks. I featured this a few days ago. The post-Islamist future, the simple fact is that Egypt's most organized opposition group did not organize Egypt's only People's Revolt. It is clear that the Brotherhood has no Khomeini-like figure capable of hijacking this revolution. Maajid, who is the Khomeini-like character for Libya? Who does Libya have on the other side of their debate?
Well, I think at the moment, one of the things that Libya differs with Egypt on is that it actually absolutely and completely lacks a civil society. So not only is there no Khomeini-like figure in Libya representing the Islamists, though of course a group of them did declare an Islamic emirate and there are factions involved in Benghazi, but actually it lacks an entire civil society. And that's one of the problems that they're going to face in revolting against Gaddafi, is that they don't have any sort of 10-man committee as the Egyptians did, known as the 10 Wise Men. It's a very natural people's uprising that isn't really led by anyone at the moment, and it's on Facebook, it's on Twitter. But that's one of the things that's going to make it very difficult, and I think Gaddafi is going to fight them for a long time and cause much mayhem and bloodshed inside Libya, as he's promised in his recent speech.
Maajid, we're making this up as we go. Here's a headline from Gaddafi. Gaddafi says he may seek help of tribes outside Libya. Is it possible you could help me with that? Where are the tribes outside Libya?
Well, there are tribes in the desert. Of course, there's a Sahara Desert, and there are many tribes that travel between the borders. But also, Gaddafi has been bringing in mercenaries from certain African countries. And I think currently there are the tribes in the east who have joined the people's uprising against him. But the tribes in the west, even inside Libya, the Tarhuna, Warfallah, and Amazigh tribes have, though indicated their support for the people, haven't yet started actively fighting Gaddafi. And I think he's relying on some of these traditional supports. That's another way in which Libya differs with Egypt. Libya is a very tribalistic society. In fact, Libya doesn't have a strong army, and that's why it's difficult for the army to step in and depose the leader, because he deliberately kept the army weak and relied upon the traditional tribal structures to keep in power, pretty much like Saddam Hussein did in Iraq.
I'll tell you, Maajid, I'm an ugly American. I watched Lawrence of Arabia this weekend, which I understand is total Hollywood and David Lean and all the rest of it, and it's all the stereotypes people like me carry. What should be the response of the Western world to a headline like he's in search of tribes? Can we be as bumbling as the British were portrayed in that movie?
No, I think we need to be very clear. I think Gaddafi is about to embark upon deliberately sparking a civil war in Libya. He's going to embark upon massacres. He's fully intent, as Saddam and his sons were, with his son Saiful Islam in Libya, on doing the same thing. He wants to see bloodshed, and we need to respond decisively. One of the things that the Western world can do is start trying to help the lack of a civil society. There are many former Libyan ambassadors who have resigned from across the world, in India, in China, and in many other countries, Bangladesh. These Libyan ambassadors, we need to start making contact with them and helping them organize an opposition government that the Western world must step in to recognize. I think we need to start working on aid and relief from the borders of, say, Egypt, that has a large and porous border with Libya. But whatever we can do without direct military invasion, whatever we can do as a Western world to support the people's uprising in Libya, it's an absolute must. Gaddafi is not going away easily, and I was optimistic with Egypt, I was optimistic with Tunisia on this very TV channel. I'm afraid for Libya, at least for the short term, I'm predicting doom, because Gaddafi is trying to use the terrorism card as something Quilliam has been set up to challenge, actually. But he's trying to use the terrorism card to stay into power.
We're going to get you back on again. Maajid Nawaz, never enough time. Thank you so much with Quilliam Group in London.